Good Monday morning, everybody, and welcome to the Rundown. I am your host, Mike Peworski, and we promise to bring you some of the best video slash audio slash, all things conservative that you're ever going to get on a Monday because it's Monday. And it's a
Manic
special
Monday.
Monday. It's a special Monday. Let me introduce you to my co host, the birthday boy.
That would be me, Craig DeLuz. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my
Go,
birthday.
Craig.
Go,
It's your
Craig.
birthday.
It's my
Go,
birthday.
Craig.
It's my
It's your
birthday.
birthday.
What? Oh, yeah. Yes, I am. Today is, I am celebrating what would that be? It would be the 31st anniversary of my 21st birthday.
There you go. There you go. Just like that. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Having a good time, having a good time. Yeah, once again, my name is Craig DeLuz. I will be your co-host today. Looking forward to some very, 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 very good news. Having a lot of fun. Once again, here, I'm coming at you, by the way, from the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras, in the state of California. I'm sorry, California.
Craig, this got to be rough for you because I get to do these shows at noon. You got to do them at 9 a.m. So on a birthday morning, that's a little early.
Well, yes and no. I mean, my day starts pretty early. So today started a little bit later than normal because, well, needless to say, I had a few birthday beverages. You know, I start celebrating my birthday at or just a little before midnight.
I usually start it the month before. Might as well break that liver into shape. Get it ready.
Right. You have to work into it. I mean, if you're going to live that kind of life, you got to train.
It's training is key. Training is key. Yeah.
Eat, sleep, train. Eat, sleep, train.
Yep, exactly right. I'm actually writing a book on how to train up for SHOT Show. That's the week-long event we do in Vegas every year in January. But yeah, we're writing a book on that.
Oh, folks, you are going to love. We're going to be doing a ton of video stuff from SHOT. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, give you guys a chance to see what we get a chance to see. Not just the industry stuff, but well, I'm not going to let you see any of the evening stuff because
We've done evening videos before. We've done some really great ones, and then we're even more
Yeah.
surprised the next day that we did them.
Oh yeah. Booze with the lose.
Yep. So we are confirmed. Actually, this past week we were all confirmed, ready to go. Been asked back to Radio Row and Broadcast Row out there at SHOT Show. So you'll be seeing the rundown from SHOT Show when we're out there in January.
The rundown from Vegas. That'll be fun.
Yep,
That'll be fun.
The Vegas rundown. The Vegas rundown.
Vegas rundown.
There you go. Craig, let's first off again, congratulations again on making it another trip around the sun. So it's good to see. Good to see.
Yes.
And let's jump into first story of the day. Big story right there out of California, Craig, with our good friends over at the Firearms Policy Coalition. A huge victory over a 32-year-old assault weapons ban in California. Judge Benitez down there. Where's he, Craig? He's down in the San Diego area, I think he is.
Yes, sir.
Is
He's
that
out. He's out of San Diego.
the petition went before him concerning the constitutionality of the assault weapon ban in California, and he said, you know what? Completely unconstitutional. I'm going to issue a permanent injunction against it and all forms of it, giving the state of California a 30-day stay on it to file their appeal.
Well, you know what's really neat about this, and I'm actually working on a video with for FPC on just kind of talking about the whole Miller case. First of all, this was one of the first times where we actually had a chance to go before a judge and require the state of California to actually defend and explain why these evil features that they point to are make it so dangerous that they ought to be banned. And that was something that I think was paramount about this case, because when it came time for them to do it, the state had absolutely no answer. They could not prove why a flash hider or a forward pistol grip. Basically, their entire argument centered around the idea, well, these guns are really good at what guns do, so they should be banned. And anyway, their argument fell flat. And what was really neat was there were a couple of arguments that the state was making, and Judge Benitez actually had the marshal bring a firearm, bring an AR, go down and bring an AR up and have the state show what they were trying to prove. And just, dude, the state just really looked bad in this case.
Yeah, they did a horrible job, as they always do, and they relied upon things like, well, it's evil and people will get hurt, innocent lives will be lost, no matter what opposition was put up against them. I know one of the things that they cited in there was that in the recent shooting, that assault weapons were involved and high capacity magazines were involved, when they were not high capacity mags. He just had plenty of them. He had extra of the standard capacity magazines at the your Valley Authority at the shooting up there. He just had
Right.
standard capacity magazines.
Well, and that was the thing is usually what these judges do, the anti-gun judges, is they take the state's word when the state says, "Oh, this is bad and evil, and
Yeah.
it'll help benefit the public." He actually required them to prove their case, and they were utterly unprepared to do so.
Yeah, and FPC did a wonderful job. They brought in examples, whether in present or in pictures, of
And
types
video.
of firearms.
And video.
Yeah, that would be banned. They're banned under this assault weapon ban, and how innocent some of these weapons are. They just look, for your honor, because of this feature, you can't have this little this target shooting gun. You can't have this gun that's 100 years old.
Right.
It was all right there. So FPC
Yeah.
did a wonderful job. They usually do, and their legal team did.
Well, Adam Kraut actually recorded a video of him shooting both a standard AR and then a California compliant AR. And he literally, within the same amount of time, was equally as accurate with both. So the question once again was, why is this one more dangerous than this one?
Right. Yeah, and Judge Benitez there, he's the same judge that gave you Freedom Week in California.
Week. Yeah. So someone asked me, and they were like, "Well, why? So if he was able to make it so that you could at least buy those firearms or buy magazines, why couldn't you do the same thing with these?" And I said, "Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one is, even if you made it illegal to buy it, you have to go through a background check, which is going to take 10 days. By the end of those 10 days, the stay will be in place, and you won't be able to pick up your gun."
Right.
So I'm like, so it really, and even then, even if you could, it would be a stay on it. So now you would be in possession of an assault weapon.
Yeah, an unconstitutional California non-compliant assault weapon. Yeah, great stuff there. Yeah, and I think you had something like, oh boy, I don't know the number off the top of my head. There's several 100,000, California ban assault weapons that are already in the state that are registered,
Right.
And yet those firearms have not been involved in any mass shootings at all.
None, and I am pretty sure that there are many, many more that are not registered.
Oh yeah. I think we'll get to that towards the parting shot today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When we get down there. Craig, let's move on to the next story here. We got a bunch today. It's a Monday. We had a good weekend as far as topics go, so we don't want to cut anything short. You and I last week talked about gun buybacks and just how they are worth. Let's see, what's the word I'm looking for? Nothing, zilch, nada. They do nothing to take crime off of the streets. These are firearms that are not normally used at all. These are ones that are unwanted firearms. These are ones that people have inherited, and they're just not the next generation's just not savvy with guns, so they get rid of them. In their intent to destroy or get rid of them, they get these gun buybacks in their place. So gun buybacks are first off, Greg, they're not buybacks. You can't buy back something you didn't own. That's called a confiscation with a donation.
There you go.
Maybe
Exactly.
That's about it. But they're not buybacks. Well, in Florida, the city of Boynton Beach, the police department there decided to have a gun buyback. And this is, again, on the heels of the big story that was released last week showing that gun buybacks do nothing to prevent crime. In fact, if anything, there is a small rise in crime after gun buybacks.
Right. And you would think that, once again, these are the people who keep hollering at us to follow the science. Well, the science says gun buybacks don't work. They don't do anything positive. They do, however, this is the one thing I do believe that they do. For people who get rid of junk guns, it does allow them to go and buy more guns. So they get a little bit of extra cash in order to be able to go and buy the stuff that they really want, whether it's firearms or ammo. But yeah, no, this is just a waste. It was like $127. It was something like $127,000 No, something like that.
$18,000, 127
Yes,
firearms.
there you go. There you go. For 120. So it worked out to about $142 per firearm.
Yeah, they were giving $100 away for the handguns and $200 away for the long guns. They were done in the form of gift cards, and there's no mention at all in here. Normally, when you have a business involved that's making donations, that's all mentioned. Boynton Beach has said nothing about that. This is $18,000 out of the city budget that could have gone to a number of other programs, but instead we took guns off the street that didn't matter in the first place. Probably now helped raise crime in that area based on statistics and the science. And the city's out 18 grand. Well, the citizens are out 18 grand.
But hey, people feel good, and they got a good press release out of it.
Because Craig, we have to do something. We have to do something. So we'll do something that doesn't work. So easy enough. Craig, moving right along, I wanted to talk to you folks about the Supreme Court's getting a case this week about the draft and selective service. For those of you that were not aware, the draft and the draft boards still exist. They're just currently inactive. In fact, draft boards exist in every community. They're trained and ready to go within 72 hours. If the draft is reinstated, the board is there, already trained and ready to go. It's something that was required after by President Carter when the draft went away, that the draft boards had to remain in place. Now, who could be drafted? Currently, at this point, it's anybody between 18 and 25 years old, males that are physically capable, medically capable of being in the military service. 18 to 25 years old, males. Well, with the issue going on right now is the ACLU has filed a case and said, why is that not females also? Why is that not women? Why cannot women be drafted into military service? They can serve in almost any role in the military now. Why not women? Now, Craig, this is kind of weird, and I'm not trying to say men versus women. Well, the men are the protectors and the women are the home care providers. We know that roles have changed and roles are different every day in society. Well, at some point, I just think you have to draw a line. You have to draw a line and say who can go and who can stay. Listen, we do this with the age in here already. We say 18 to 25. Are we discriminating against 26-year-old men the same way we're discriminating against 19-year-old women? All right. At some point, you have to say this is the group of people we want to be our primary warfighters to go in case of a draft. I think trying to include everybody on this is just going to create more chaos than anything else.
Well, what's interesting is that I noticed that they left out the other 31 genders. What about them?
Yeah, true.
What about people who are in the other 31 genders? Why they, if there was ever a time that I would suspect that someone would take advantage of gender fluidity, it would be the draft. It's like, why register? I don't know. I feel like I am a woman today, so therefore I won't register for I'm not eligible for the draft.
In most states now, I think it's 35 states now. When you apply for your driver's license, you are automatically enrolled in the draft.
Right.
There's only 10 or 15 states left where you have to do it separately. And I remember Craig made a big deal, and you and I are almost the same age. You're older, and we had to go down to the post office and register separately for this. Now, if you didn't register for the draft, or if you happen to be 26 in one of those states where you did not register, guess what? You can't get yourself a civil service job. You can't get certain federal grants or loans. Now they haven't prosecuted anybody for not registering in many, many years. But if you don't register and you go to apply for those programs, you're going to find yourself sitting on the outside.
Yeah. By the way, I noticed that little slight jab where you made it a point that I'm older than you are.
Oh, it's just Craig.
It's just a fact.
It's all about the science, and the science.
It's all about the science. Science says I'm older.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Respect your elders.
Don't deny the science. Don't deny the science.
Well, I'm torn on this too, because in a day and age where we're talking about equality and we want equality and yada yada yada. Well, guess what? You know what? There's good and there's bad to being a man. There is. And, you ought to accept the challenge. You ought to accept the battle right along with it. Now, that's kind of the smart aleck in me. The reasonable person in me is like, look, you know what? I want the best soldiers that we can have in the middle of war if we're going to do a draft. And, quite frankly, I I grew up in an era where men fight the wars and protect their families. And if you want to fight, if you're a woman and you want to fight, more power to you. But the draft is a whole nother issue. I just think that if you're a woman and you want to go into the military and you want to go and you want to fight and be a part of it, great, you're welcome. But in terms of a mandatory draft, I don't necessarily know if I want. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know if I'm cool with that.
Yes, I've heard the argument.
Chauvinist.
Americans not ready to see their mothers and daughters
Yes.
being brought back in caskets or under American flag. Here's what I'll tell you: the Army's had a physical fitness standards as many other branches have had for probably a uniform for 50 or 60 years now. And it was a separate standard. Women had one standard, men had another standard. Over the past 2 years, the Army has implemented one standard, a new physical fitness test, one standard. 90% of the men have passed it. It's about 10% of the women have passed it. Okay, I'm not saying there are not women out there that can't compete with men on the same level. But again, if you want to go with science and density of muscles and bone density and those kind of things, I think the people I want carrying the heavy rifles and the packs into battle are the ones that pass the test 90% of the time, not 10% of the time.
So, Mikey, let me ask you the question. So, I'm assuming that because you are, a reservist and you still serve, I'm assuming that you passed the physical test.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I have, and I could feel it in my left shoulder still right now. Yeah, because my left shoulder is no longer in the 18 to 25-year-olds category. Okay, and that test is no
Not
longer,
even the new shoulder is.
Yeah. Now the new shoulder is about 4 years old. The left shoulder is still just about 6 weeks younger than your shoulder. And it's no longer age based either. It's, the categories of the test used to be every age bracket had a different one. Now it's literally a pass or fail, and the standard's pretty difficult. So, I'm sorry. Again, go back to the science. A 200-pound weight's going to hurt you more than a 100-pound weight landing on your foot. That's just the facts.
Right. Well, that was the thing. I honestly look at the standard because my son-in-law is a reservist, and it's the funniest thing because I keep telling him, I'm like, man, I could do that. That's nothing. But once again, the problem is that they've had to lower the standards so that more women can actually achieve it.
Yeah, they're talking about right now changing how they grade it. Rather than saying only 10% passed, they're going to say, well, I'm in the top 50% of the people that took the test or something like that. So we're going to get rid of the A through F grades and just say, oh, I'm in the top third.
So in other words, if everybody took it and 99% of the people got D's and F's, and you got a D, then you're in the 99th percentile.
Yeah, exactly right. God bless the curve, right? Yeah.
Well, that's how they do the ASVAB, isn't it?
I don't know. I wasn't smart enough to take that one.
Okay.
I put my mark on the paper and they let me in. All right, Craig. Next one. This is a big one. I think even with what the Firearms Policy Coalition did, this might be the most important story of the day. We have an attack on the Lord's chicken, is what we have here. Burger King has decided that this is Pride Month, and they want to make donations to organizations that are LGBTQ and whatever else is now acceptable to say. I'm not trying to be funny in any way. I'm honestly not up on all of the acronyms and names. They're going to be donating 40 cents per chicken sandwich that is made at Burger King. That's up to $250,000. They're going to be making a donation this month. So good on you, Burger King. Listen, anytime you make a donation to any organization that's in need of help, that's a great thing. That's up to, again, 40 cents a sandwich, $250,000. That's 625,000 sandwiches. My objection to this is that they're making it a media circus. They're trying to poke at the Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays and is owned by and operated by a Christian man named Dan Cathy, their CEO. I'm not real hip on that. First off, it's Burger King trying to make chicken sandwiches taste better than the chicken sandwich place. I don't know how that's going to work, but this is again, I think this is a more political stunt than it is a
Yeah.
a heartfelt donation to those organizations from Burger King. I think this is them being involved in that. Listen, the Chick-fil-A, sure, their owner is a Christian man.
Hmm.
Well, guess what? That's his beliefs. He's a Christian, and now you want to poke fun at him for his religious beliefs. I'm not sure I like that. I think that's the whole problem with the Equality Act right now, is that you want to let organizations and government come back and restrict
Right.
religion. You know,
Well, no, no, you're spot on. It's kind of funny because I'm like, okay, is this also an attack on heathen chicken? I mean, is this attack on Popeye? Because first of all,
yeah,
let's just be real. Let's just be real. Burger King, you do burgers okay.
right.
Why don't you perfect making hamburgers first?
Yeah.
Then we'll let you start messing around with other stuff. But right now, your burgers are bootsy. So no, thank you. I'm not interested in your chicken sandwich. I'm especially not interested in your political chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Not at
Yeah,
all. Not at all
if they wanted
interested.
if they wanted to make a donation of $250,000, they could have stood up, put the flag behind them, and made a donation of $250,000. The way they go after this with 40 cents per chicken sandwich is clearly a shot on a Christian-based organization.
Yep.
Is what they're trying to do here.
Yep. Yep. So they're going to. Are they now officially going to take the place of Popeyes as the heathen chicken?
No, Burger King. I don't even know that we can call them a chicken place. Can we? We got to call them the burger place, the average burger place.
Okay.
So
All right. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
let's move right along, Craig. We've got a school board in Florida that I guess last year or the year before they must have been sleeping when everybody was changing the names of schools because it had Confederate names or ties to the Confederacy. Well, the county there, this county school board in Jacksonville, Florida, is just now getting around to realize that they missed the boat on this, and it's time to go after some school names. And let me give you some of the names of these schools because listen, one of them I actually had to look up. I wasn't even familiar with the name, but they're changing the names of the schools that are Stonewall Jackson Elementary, Jeb Stewart Middle School, Kirby Smith Middle School, Jefferson Davis Middle School, Robert E. Lee High School, and then Joseph Finnegan Elementary. Did I say Joseph Finnegan? I wasn't sure who that was. I had to look that up. Yes, they're ties to Confederacy. So, Craig, these schools, no matter what their success records are, no matter how long they've been there, no matter how great the students and/or teachers are, we can no longer send our children to these schools because they have the names of people that were involved with the Confederacy.
Here's the thing I'll say is that I'm not a person who supported the idea of tearing down conservative. I mean, not conservative, conservative, Confederate, monuments in my opinion, I think you recognize history. The way in which you don't repeat history is by actually acknowledging that it exists, recognizing it, and calling it out. Here's the thing that I don't get is whether it's the flying of the Confederate flag or the naming of schools after. Let's just be real. They lost the war, right? Like, nobody celebrated the Buffalo Bills when they lost the Super Bowl 5 times in a row, right? It's like you lost. So I don't get the point of honoring that. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. But if that's what you want to name your schools, then go ahead. Name your schools that. I don't get it.
Yeah, and Craig, I would understand if they were calling it the Confederate States of America Middle
Right.
School. That you're right. And the way I believe about it as somebody that served in the military is it's a defeated flag. It's a defeated country. They formed their own country. They left the Union, and I get that. And I wouldn't let a soldier of mine put that flag up any more than I'd let him put up the flag of the Kaiser or the Nazi
Right.
flag from other defeated armies. But then again, our history is, and we know this, and this is how that Abraham Lincoln and everybody else, the presidencies post Civil War, was able to bring the country back together and have the unity, was to say they were all American soldiers and they all should be honored as former American soldiers. Okay, you know what? We're not putting CSA up there. We're putting
Okay.
Jeb Stuart. We're putting Stonewall Jackson, who were still leaders, military leaders and leaders in their communities.
You know what, man? That is the first time I've heard that explained, and I have to say, I agree with you. That makes sense. It's the first time I've ever heard it explained like that. So, yeah, okay. I kind of changed my mind. I agree with you. I agree with you.
They're still. Is this still Southern schools?
Yeah.
That have the influence of these former leaders, these former men. So I'm torn. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's also uneducated. I think it's a knee jerk reaction. It's more tagging onto the BLM, the bad part of the BLM movement. When you look at Jacksonville, Florida is is like Atlanta, like suburban.
Right.
Excuse me, like urban
It's
Atlanta. It is a high population, higher than normal population of African Americans. It's Jacksonville's 60% white, 30% black, 5% Asian, and less than 3% Hispanic. It's just, that's just the racial makeup, and I think they're falling victim to the lies that are being told by the left.
Well, in this particular case, what frustrates me when I see this is I'm like, as a school board member, your number one job is to educate kids, right? And to make sure that the school district, is around in the future fiscally in order to be able to educate students. And I think that when you start doing stuff like this that gets away from core mission, which is education, all it does is it brings stuff that has no business being involved in school board politics into school board politics, and there's less focus on doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is educating students.
No, that's an excellent point. You're exactly right. Every time you take them away from that core mission of teaching, it's time away from teaching, time away from educating, I think we should say.
Exactly.
Good stuff. Yeah, I think in Florida that you may see some pushback on this. These are supposed to take effect, I think, when the new school year comes around. I want to say that our governor of Captain Florida down here, Governor Ron DeSantis, has already addressed this, that they cannot make changes like this without the state's permission now. As opposed to what's gone on before. You can't take down a statue, can't change a name without the state saying it's okay to do so. So I think we'll see a fight here out of the governor on this one. Craig, let's take a look at our parting shot here. We did make reference earlier in the program about registering firearms.
Gotta love The Simpsons.
Americans own 46% of the world's 1 billion guns, according to the UN. Homer with his 46% of the world's registered guns. Yeah. Listen, there's people out there that, and I don't understand. Everybody understand there's only 7 states where you have to register your firearm.
Right.
The rest, you just purchase your firearm and you own your firearm. You don't have to get any additional requirements met beyond purchasing on a 4473 if it's from a dealer. And if you buy from an individual, you buy from an individual. So how does a registration work? Well, we know it's for your protection, right? Wink, wink. Hey, right, government, it's for your protection. So if somebody wanted to trace a gun, or if a gun was found or something like that, they could go back to the, Colt manufacturer, find out that they gave it to ABC distributor. It went to, Charlie's gun store, and Charlie's gun store sold it to Bob Smith. And then they go to Bob Smith, and if Bob doesn't have that gun
know
anymore,
Bob Smith, just so you know.
if Bob Smith still has it, success. If Bob Smith doesn't have it, he legally sold it to somebody else, traded it in somewhere else, then it's gone. That's where
he lost it in a fishing accident.
That's it. It was I lost her in a flood. Horrible boating accident. So, yeah, registration is that first step towards confiscation.
Yes.
Many states don't have registration required.
Right.
And if you purchase one of those firearms in a state where it's required to be registered and you forgot to register it, I think that's what Homer was trying to imply there.
Exactly. Well, and like I said, even in states that require registration, I am quite positive that there are a number of firearms that are not registered. Whether it was they were purchased before registration was
Correct.
required. I mean, registration of long guns in California only started in like 2011, 2014,
Right.
somewhere around there. For handguns, it started in 91. But then there are a lot of people who literally have either inherited firearms or moved into the state of California and brought firearms with them, or just, bought it off a buddy and, never bothered to register it, never bothered to go through the transfer process. I guarantee you that there are many, 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 many more firearms out there in the state, in America, than we know about. And by the way, that's a good thing.
Many. Yeah, that's a
At
very
least
good thing.
the legal,
Yeah.
legal.
Well, listen, with the American people is what the largest standing army or largest reserve army in the world.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
so something along those lines. Listen, ask the Japanese why they didn't come ashore in California.
Hmm.
Because there's a firearm behind every blade of grass. They were not ready for
Exactly.
that. So it's good things, good stuff.
Hey, folks,
Uh,
before we take off today, that's going to be obviously going to be it for today's show. Want to remind you guys, tune in for Friday where we have Freed Back Friday. That's right, Mikey right now is showing you the stuff that we are going to be giving away. We have a couple of items. We have an upper from Gorilla Machining, our folks over there at Gorilla Machining, and then we also have a 80% piece of aluminum from our good friends over there at Grid Defense. Those are going to be available for you. Now, here's the deal, folks. We're going to change it up just a little bit this week. We're still going to be doing comments. But here's the deal. We need at least 10 commenters. So that should encourage you to encourage your friends to tune in. If you want to win, we need y'all to participate. We need full and open participation. So encourage your friends to tune in to the rundown this Friday.
This Friday, yep. And congrats to our winner this past Friday. And thanks for hanging in there while I was doing my remote broadcasting and my phone overheated and I lost everybody. But it was great to be there while I could.
Anyway, man, that was kind of neat. We really appreciate you making the extra effort.
It was all good. All good. It was a good time, as always, to be with you and all the folks out there in Viewerland.
In Viewerland. All right, folks, that's going to be it for this edition of The Rundown. Please remember, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. We will see you on Taco Tuesday.
Holla!